Hey guys, SoCal Fat Chick here, and I just got the tip of my toe amputated. Welcome to Jackass. I'm probably not going to keep that in. Like I just said, no clickbait, no exaggeration. I just got the tip of my toe amputated. Why? Well, I went hiking with my family. I got a blister. Blister got infected. I'm diabetic. Warning. The following pictures and commentary depict an open wound. They are very graphic, but I think it's important to share this experience with Gora World because it's more common than any of us would think. Please skip to the following timestamp to avoid the graphic images. Once you see them, you can't unsee them. You've been warned. Why are we starting on day 2? Because I was dumb and didn't think to take a picture of day 1. On day 1, there was slight redness, slight swelling, and as you can see in the second picture, that big bruise looking bit on the very tip of my toe, that was just a very thin line. I woke up on day 2, it had advanced to this, and I knew I had to get to the doctor. All right, so day 3, and you can see we've got some indicators here to point out some specific parts of the picture evidence. In the first picture, indicated by the pink arrow, you can see where there is there was kind of a cutoff at the base of my toe where that was where all the redness had started, or had rather stopped, but you can see the redness starting to spread lower than my toe. In the second picture with the blue arrows, the first arrow, the blue arrow pointing down, is actually pointing to a callus, not the infection, but the callus is where we think the infection started. Anyways, I wound up with a blister right here where the first arrow is, blue arrow is pointing down. And that blister turned into a blood blister, and then the blood blister led to an infection. The blue arrow pointing up is pointing to the area of the wound that they removed part of the skin of the top layer to let some of the infection out. Yeah, it's going to get worse from here, so you may want to skip ahead. The third picture with the purple arrow pointing down, that's pointing to a painfully sensitive. That is where some of the infection had started to spread above my leg. And one of the reasons why they put me on 3 antibiotics on the first couple of days, down to 2 antibiotics by this day. We're now on to day 6, which was the day they decided that I was definitely going to have debridement surgery. They actually decided it well before that. This was just the day that they were able to get me in. These are pictures from the morning. In the first picture, you can just kind of see the, top-down view. In the second picture, you can see how they've excised a lot of the skin above the wound, and contrary to what we had been believing, that dark color was not dried old blood. That dark color is necrotic tissue. We move on to day 8. These pictures were taken the morning after my surgery. You can see the excision. Yeah, I warned you, the pictures would be graphic. My health was generally good. I was on the right track. My blood sugars had been to the point where they were not technically considered diabetic for at least the past 3 years. I've been on top of it. I've stayed on medication. I've stayed on my diet. And this is still where we end up. So we move on to day 10. And you can see the pictures are very graphic. I tried to brighten them as much as I could because it was fairly dark because I had to take the pictures myself. This was the day that they decided they were going to have to do the amputation. It was healing. It wasn't healing super well. As you can see, that white part in the middle, that is the fascia that is basically connecting my tissues to my bone. Basically looking at is my bare bone. And what my doctor was looking for is what he called beefy tissue. Because the necrotic tissue, the dead tissue, went all the way down to the bone, he was afraid that the infection may have breached that tissue and started to attack the bone. And here we have the morning of day 12. This is the first time that I saw my new, shorter, amputated toe. The stitches are kind of insane. Yeah, looking at them again, it's just, wow. Yeah. So they had taken the tip of my toe. All of that black that you see is dried blood and basically wads of stitches. As you can see in the second picture, if you look at the stitches around what is at the top of the picture, you can see how swollen it is and how tight those sutures are holding it together. And then from the last picture, you can see that my second toe is now the longest toe on my foot. Day 15. This is the day that I was discharged from the hospital. I was in the hospital for just under 2 weeks. These pictures were taken at home. You can see in the first picture, it's still very red. Some of the swelling has started to go down. And in the second picture, you can see that's kind of from the bottom. The skin is so dry around it and starting to peel, but that is to be expected. Day 20. The routine is wake up in the morning, take off my dressing, let it air out for an hour or two, redress it. It has started to heal more towards the base of my toe. You can see there the skin is pretty much joined together. So those stitches are pretty good. Day 23, and we've got a video for you. As you can see, the swelling has gone down considerably. The skin is incredibly dry, which is a good thing. Day 35, since I noticed the infection. Day 23, since my surgery. So I have about another week and a half before my podiatrist will decide whether or not to take the stitches out. It's healing really well. My skin is so dry. I mean, you can see it, but I mean, what are you gonna do? Chantal, I'm talking straight to you now. The reason I'm talking straight to you is because out of all the girls in Gora World that I pay attention to, you're the one who has openly confessed to being diabetic. You've even shown off your blood sugar at times. So I'm directing this message to you because it doesn't matter whether I think that you're abusing your medication or not. It doesn't matter if anybody thinks that you are abusing your body or not. I want to tell you that even if you do everything right, diabetes doesn't sleep. Diabetes doesn't take a break. Diabetes doesn't earn any cheat days. It's always there. You have a chronic illness just like I do. It's always there and it is always working against you. You can be the best diabetic that you could be. You could take your meds religiously. You could change your diet completely. You can stop eating some of your favorite foods. You may think that you can always start tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new day. You may think that, oh, I have time. I'll drop weight. By next summer, I'll have a six-pack. It doesn't matter. I've lost over 100 pounds since my diagnosis, and I'm still losing. I was taken off of my medication, and my blood sugar was registered at not even non-diabetic levels within a year of my diagnosis. I have maintained that for over 4 years now. Still, one blister happened to get infected. Could happen to any of us, right? One blister that got infected turned into an infection that could have killed me. And I'm lucky that I only lost the tip of my toe. I don't think that you're a good person. I don't like you. I don't have to. But I do beg of you, do some serious soul searching. Because if you think that you're pulling some sort of leaving Las Vegas thing where, oh, you're in Kuwait, you're just going to eat yourself to death, why not? It's not going to come easy. It's not going to come quick. It's going to come piece by piece by piece. First, it's the tip of a toe. Who knows what's next? Kidney failure, uh, complete insulin resistance, dialysis, death. But it's going to take you a piece at a time. And you are going to have multiple moments where you lose what you think is all of your dignity. So please, I know you're not going to. Trust me, I know you aren't. I think you're incapable of change. But please, take a minute, do some soul searching, and try to make a change if you don't want to fall apart piece by piece by piece. That's all for now. I'm going to be back with reactions. This is not going to become a personal journey kind of video channel, whatever. Uh, it's going to get back to reactions. Life got really busy. Then I kind of forgot about my channel. Then this happened, and so here I am. But I am going to come back with some reactions. And I was kind of thinking because I never watch Chantal raw anymore. I always watch her through reactors because they're doing God's work. They really are. I was kind of thinking about doing a series of like reactions to reactors. I don't know if that is something that anybody would be interested in or um, that I would even be interested in maintaining. It was just the tip of my toe. See you guys. Stay crabby.